Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining the useful Salesforce Admin Tools training from CM Focus. I'm going to go ahead and get started. First, I'm going to start with a company intro. We are a Salesforce Silver consulting partner. We focus mostly on Visualforce Apex development, and we offer packages around that. For example, we have packages starting at $1,000 for Apex development, or other more long-term solutions where you can hire us to do the Apex development or Visualforce maintenance for your Salesforce org. We have done significant work around partner portal, customer relationship management, basically opportunity management and integrations with other systems. We also do offer Salesforce training, and we do have an upcoming training that is coming up pretty shortly. And from a customer standpoint, we have a mix of enterprise as well as small, medium customers. We have over 40 customers. And some of the differentiators that we have over our competition is we have the relationship with Salesforce, significant customer focus, quality of work, and we do have best practices around Salesforce development. And before I move on, I wanted to introduce myself as well. My name is Girish, and I personally have been in the Salesforce consulting area since 2006, and have been doing mostly enterprise implementations with significant focus on Apex development as well as Visualforce. Moving on. So today's agenda, we are going to be covering some of the admin tools. As I mentioned, the first one we start with is Excel Connector, and then we will move on to the data loader, and then Force.com Explorer, then as well as RoboForm. So Excel Connector is a tool that is used to manipulate data from Excel, and it is free and extremely useful for small sets of data. Next, I'm going to jump into a quick demo. So to install Excel Connector, you can get that information from our blog, which is at cm-focus.com. Let me bring that up so that you guys can see it. And you can click the link Useful Salesforce Admin Tools. This particular blog gives you also details around how to install the tools that I'm going to be talking about in today's call. So the first one, as I mentioned, we're going to start out with this Excel Connector. So once you get the Excel Connector installed, it basically works as if you are in Excel. So like, let us say you go ahead and start out Excel as a blank workbook. Then the use case I'm going to walk through today is, the first is we want to extract some data out of Salesforce. So once Excel Connector is added or installed, you will get this add-ins menu item. From there, you want to connect, you want to select Force.Connector, and then say Table Query Wizard. So that is basically to query a particular table. That will give you a login screen. Now I am entering my username and password, and you also want to enter your security token. If you are working with the sandbox, you want to change the URL to test.salesforce.com, but right now, I'm going to do it in our production environment to demo it. So Actually, this is not our production environment. This is more of a developer org that we use. You really don't want to doing things like this in your production environment. So what I am trying to do is, so you can see all the tables that are available. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to extract some of the opportunities and associated fields. So I want to bring in the opportunity ID, close date, name, stage, and let us also bring in the probability. And once I click next, and this lets you add in more filters based on the opportunity that you're selecting. I'm not really going to add any filters. I want to keep it simple, but you guys can add filters. I'm going to go ahead and run the query. So as you can see, it brought down a couple of opportunities. And on the top, you do have a filter that says system modified timestamp greater than 2013. If I make that 2011 and select query table data, sorry. So it's going to bring in all the data where the system modified timestamp for opportunities is greater than 1/28/2011. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to change so this is a way to retrieve data if you want to do it quickly. But what I usually use it for is, let's say I want to update the probability of a bunch of opportunities from an admin standpoint. I could do this easily by querying the data down into Excel and then changing it. For example, I'm going to change the probability of all these opportunities to 50%. So I have done that, and then what I can do is I'm going to select these cells. The next operation I'm doing is basically updating this in Salesforce. And I could say update selected cells, so it is going to ask you, and then at this point the update should be done. If I want to verify it, I can copy this ID and look at my Salesforce instance to make sure the probability has been updated to 50%. So as you can see, it has been updated to 50%. So using the Excel connector, you can update, you can basically create, update, delete, or just query the data, right? So it's basically, there's different operations that you can do. So what we discovered so far has been querying the data and then also updating the data. So now I am going to demonstrate how you might be able to go ahead and create a new opportunity, for example. For that, what you would need to do is, let's say I'm going to say CM focus, right? I want to go ahead and create that opportunity. And I'm going to keep everything the same, but if I add the word new to the biggest and say insert selected rows, so this will insert a particular opportunity in the Salesforce. You can do this, on multiple rows. Let us say I want to do. I'm going to copy and paste this and say 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to say I want to create all these new opportunities. I can select this and say insert selected rows. So basically it is going to go ahead and create all these new opportunities and bring back the opportunity ID. So far what we have covered is first to query the data, then update it, then create new data. Next, what I'm going to do is here try to show you how to delete the data, right? Like for these new opportunities that I have created, I'm going to go ahead and delete them. So I'm going to select these IDs and say, select these and say delete objects. So it is going to say I'm going to delete 4 opportunity records. So yeah, you can go ahead and delete them. So this is the Excel connector is a very useful tool, especially if you want to update opportunities pretty fast. And this is not just, I have seen admins use it as well as some of the super users use it in organizations. So that concludes the demo for Excel connector. Again, you can find how to install the Excel connector and everything on our blog at cm-focus.com and useful admin tools actually. So let us move on to next, the data loader. So data loader is basically used for manipulating large amounts of data. It is a tool that is probably the most popular admin tools and is also supported by Salesforce.com. And it is usually, like if you are doing a data migration, I have done millions of records of data migration using data loader. The Excel connector usually works very well if you are just doing thousands of records and you want to change something on the fly, and you want to use Excel macros to modify some of the values based on, like for example, if you have set of opportunities where you want to say, if the date lower than the close date lower than something, like a particular date, you want to make sure the opportunity is closed up. You can run that kind of logic in Excel and quickly update it, right? Like data loader is usually used for manipulating large amounts of data. And data loader also have an API which can be scripted for automations. For example, we have done implementations where we have scripted the data loader where it would load the data from a flat file into Salesforce on a regular basis. Basically scheduling the data loader, right? So that does require some development work, but that is possible also. So next, I am going to jump into the data loader demo. Again, the installation details for data loader can be found on our blog, as I mentioned before. So it is in this particular section, and we also have a couple of videos around how to use data loader also. So once data loader is installed, you will find data loader on your I'm using the Windows machine to demo this. So you'll be able to find it on Salesforce.com, Apex Data Loader, Apex Data Loader 19. There's different versions of data loaders. So if you have an older version, most likely it will kind of still work okay. But it's always good to upgrade to the latest version. So as data loader is coming up, I think it is starting up. Okay, there it is. So data loader also has, supports similar operations: insert, update, upsert, delete, and export. So insert is basically inserting new records. Updating is updating existing records. Upsert is like a combination of insert as well as update. So basically, like in this case, the data set you will be working with will potentially have a set of records you want to insert and also a set of records you want to update. Delete is basic deletion, and export is we're going to go ahead and just export the data. So let us start out by exporting the data. So I am going to click export. It is going to bring me into a login screen where you want to enter your username as well as password. And then click login. And once you are logged in, then it is going to show the basic objects. If you have custom objects, you want to select show all Salesforce objects. And let me go ahead and pick opportunity. And then I am going to say where I want to save this opportunity to. Let me go ahead and create a new folder for this. And this is the folder where I am going to extract the data. And I'm going to call it Octi extract. Save, and click next. And here you can pick the fields you want to choose. I am going to choose, I don't think I need these deleted, name, state name, amount, and also probability. So once I have selected the values of the fields, then you can add more filters, but I'm going to just leave it as it's just going to get everything out. So I'm going to say click finish. And basically, on this particular development org, I had about 35 opportunities. So you can go ahead and view the extraction. This is basically what the extract looks like, or you can open it in an external program, and you should be able to bring that up in Excel. So I am going to try to bring it up on Excel or open up the CSV file that has been downloaded. I usually want to rename it to .csv. Okay, so now you have all the opportunity downloaded. Usually, I use data loader, for example, if I'm going to do a big change in production, I want to do a backup of everything, right? Then I would usually take a whole extract of a particular object and save it up, right? So let us do this. I am going to go ahead and pick these. Let us see how we can update a couple of opportunities. I'm going to go ahead and pick these two opportunities and try to see if we can update it. I'm going to create a new CSV file with these new opportunity IDs. So, and you also want to add the field names on there. Okay, so I have added all the field names. now what I am going to do is I am going to say I want to update the probability of these opportunities, both of them, to 90%. So I have that. When you're updating, you really don't need the other fields. I'm just going to leave it there. If you only want to update a particular, only the probability in this particular CSV file, which you are going to use for updating, you only need the probability column. But I'm going to leave the rest in there. It doesn't really hurt. So then I am going to save this file, save as, and you want to save it as a CSV file. Update test. So, okay. Now that we have the CSV file, so what we are trying to do is we are going to try to update these two opportunities to a probability of 90% compared to what it was 50%, that it was before. And you can see this particular opportunity is at 50% probability right now. But let's go ahead and try to update it. So for that, you go back to data loader, you select update, you select the object you want to update. In this case, it is the opportunity. And I am going to select the CSV file that I have prepped and then click next. Okay. So what this screen is showing is bringing up all the columns on Excel. So, and you want to click edit or map. You can auto match fields to columns. So basically this one auto matched it, or you can drag and drop actually. In this case, I'm only going to be updating the probability, so I'm just going to remove the rest. So I really don't want to update those. Actually, I do need the ID in there. I mean, if you leave it as it is, then it's just going to update those fields again. That is it. No harm done. And then I am going to click OK. If this is something, if you're doing repeatedly, you can save the mapping back that you can use it next. Then I'm going to click next and click finish. So it says it has updated 2 records, and you can view the success and you can view the errors. Sometimes errors occur, because you have some kind of triggers or things that are causing things to break. But here, now you can see both of them are success. And if I double click on it, you can see the probability has updated. Okay, that concludes the demo for data loader. And again, there is more details and write-up on cf-focus.com, and you have on our blog on how to install data loader and use it. So now going back, the next one I want to cover is force.com Explorer. Actually, I just realized the write-up here is wrong. So it is basically force.com Explorer is a tool that is used for testing SQL queries. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that one up. And this can also be installed. And once you install it, it should appear on your start programs, and you can bring up Apex Explorer. So for example, if you're doing significant amount of development or triggers, or you want to like write queries, SQL is the language that Salesforce uses. It's very similar to SQL, and it helps you build these SQL queries and also try to execute them. Okay, so there is the Apex Explorer, and I can click Login, and there it is. Okay, I have already logged in. So let us see. Let us say I want to query like all opportunities with probability greater than 70% in a particular org. So as you log into Apex Explorer, you get the screen on this particular box that I am highlighting right now. That is where you can enter the SQL and click query, and it basically queries and makes sure your SQL is correct. So I am going to be selecting the fields that I want from the opportunity. Let us select account, name, then the other things I want are probability, name, and now I'm going to also enter a filter saying where probability greater than 70. Try to run the query. So this brings up all the opportunities that has probability greater than 70% in my org. This can be used even if you want to do, like, for example, SQL group by process, etc., etc. If you are doing any kind of SQL development, or if you want to do quick SQL query to find out what is the total amount of your opportunities for something with probability greater than 70%, you want to write something like that, you can use this tool. The main purpose I would use this tool is that if you want to write a trigger, or you want to write a visual force, and you want to to test out your SQL queries, you can use this particular Apex Explorer tool to develop the SQL queries that is of interest to you and test it out. Many times, testing it out while doing development is very painful. Okay. Then that concludes the Apex Explorer. The last one I want to cover is the Force.com, the RoboForm login tool, or it's a tool that you can install, and it can help you manage your logins across different environments. What I use it for is that I want to keep the passwords for multiple sandboxes and the production logs, right? So you can use the RoboForm to keep track of that. Let us say I am on yahoo.com, and it's a free tool actually that you can use for up to 10 logins. And I have my login for my CM Focus production instance saved in the RoboForm. You can click, and that should take you directly there. And I have other orgs like that I have worked on. I have that login information kind of saved here. And you can use this not just for Salesforce, but for other software as well as like let's say you have Marketo or like something else, other tools that you're using, and you want to you have trouble like memorizing all the passwords and everything, you can kind of use this RoboForm tool to manage your passwords and login information. Again, like the download instruction and everything is available on your blog, on our blog. So that concludes all the tools that I want to cover. And I also wanted to say we do have some upcoming Salesforce admin and basic Apex development tutorial, event or class coming up. So if you are interested, please sign up on our website, and we will keep you informed. That concludes the session. And thanks everybody for joining. Thank you.